This is Saturn Girl. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment below because I want to know what you think and it helps me out with the algorithm. Well, anyway, this is what you vultures have been wanting. Your horoscopes for Venus in Scorpio. Remember, from part 1, the last video, she enters Scorpio on December the 4th. She's touring her haunt, right, until the 29th. So get ready for a haunted holiday season. But let's really quickly recap what this means for you, right? So for context, please go watch part 1 because we discussed the meaning of Venus and Scorpio there, and that is necessary information. So if you haven't watched it, stop this now, go back and watch it, and then watch this. So this is a direct order from Saturn Girl. Anyway, you see, Mars was crashing through Scorpio like a derailed chemical train. And now Venus will be trying to clean up his messes, right? Remember, she's in detriment here, and I explained all that in the previous video. But she may not do a great job of cleaning while she's in Scorpio. You know, it's sort of like trying to clean a window with an oily rag. You just sort of spread the dirt around, right? But I do think you will see certain areas in your life be healed. You know, at least a little bit as Venus catches up to Mars. But this also depends on the houses involved for you. So now let's get into your horoscopes. Yes? We're going to do these for each rising sign. So I really recommend that you find out your rising sign if you don't already know it. You will need your birth time, though, to find out your rising. So if you have your birth certificate, wonderful. If you don't, you can watch this for your sun sign. Now, let's start with Aries Rising, yes? So if you're Aries Rising, this means Mars just left your 8th house of debt and death. And he probably messed up your finances or put you in more debt. You may also have had old wounds open up from past trauma. Venus is coming through and hopefully bringing some balance back to your bank balance. Or perhaps even healing these tragic wounds. Venus rules your 2nd and 7th houses. So there could be some financial relief, right? It's not always like, ooh, you get more money, but things could ease up, expenses, or whatever. She could also be forcing you to face hurts from previous relationships, right? The 7th house is relationships. Or a current one. Well, what about our Taurus Rising friends? Let's go to Taurus Rising. Now, this means Mars just left your 7th house of partnerships. So I bet he stirred up some trouble in your relationship or relationships. You may have had a breakup or major conflict with a partner. Now, Venus coming through will hopefully bring some smoothing over to these conflicts, right? But be careful, because in Scorpio, she can also get a bit jealous, right? Make sure you don't reignite a fight. Now, Venus rules your 1st house of self and your 6th house of obligations. So she will likely help you either to swallow your pride or to stand up for yourself. She may also put in some effort, right, to mend the tears in your relationship. What about our Gemini Rising friends? Gemini Rising. So this means Mars just left your 6th house, right? And that's illnesses and obligations. So I'm sure that it felt like all work and no play, right? Must make you dull. You may have been rushing around trying to get things done, or you found yourself fighting off getting sick, perhaps. Venus coming through should get you to slow down a bit, to get some rest, and maybe even heal from being sick or getting a small injury. Now, Venus rules your 12th house of isolation and your 5th house of children and pleasure. So she will probably bring anxiety and maybe even mental health into focus, or prompt you to want to isolate, perhaps to figure stuff out on your own. She may also force you to focus on your kids. Perhaps one of them gets sick and you have to stay home from work, right? And that may seem like a chore. Having fun even could seem like a chore. It's like we got to schedule it in here, right? Well, anyway, let's move on to Cancer Rising. What about our Cancer Rising friends? We love them, don't we? Well, Mars just left your 5th house of children and pleasure. So you probably had a rough time with your kids, right? And felt a strong desire to have fun and pleasure. Venus is coming through and soothing some of these issues between you and your kids. And perhaps making you even more charming and desirable for, right? I mean, she's fun in general, but, the 5th house. So, and Venus. Now, Venus rules your 11th house of friends and hopes and your 4th house of family and origins. So hopefully she'll make you get out of the house and meet people because you won't want to do it at home, right? Or you won't do it at home, right? Like dating apps are just sort of, It's more fun to meet people out and about at events and stuff. Now, she could also mend relationships with your parents or help you to heal childhood wounds from your past. Or even be creative around your house. There could be decorating or painting or something. That's very Cancerian, isn't it? Now, what about our Leo Rising homies? We love Leo Rising, don't we? So this means Mars is leaving your 4th house, right? Of home, parents, and origins. So there could have been fights with a parent, a problem with your living situation, or he could have dredged up painful things from your past. Venus coming through should bring more harmony to your home. Yes. If you have roommates, you could you could see her improve those relations. Maybe you make a chore wheel. Maybe people start pitching in. You may be less inclined to decorate, you may be more inclined to decorate and make your home space more beautiful to reflect your inner nature. Venus rules your 10th house of life direction and career and your 3rd house of siblings and community. So you may have set up a home office, right? Or maybe you have to and start working from home more. Perhaps your work suddenly, right, has something to do with real estate or your roots or the past in general. It could also be that a sibling barges into your home for a visit. Or perhaps you get caught up in a lot of little errands, right? Or short trips for your business. Just don't rush around too much because it will get exhausting. What about Virgo Rising? We love our Virgo Rising friends. So this means Mars just left your 3rd house of siblings, community, and communication. So I bet there was some road rage, wasn't there? Maybe fights with a brother, sister, cousin, aunt, or uncle. And I bet your words were extra harsh, right? Or even aggressive. Venus coming through, though, should ease some of those tensions, and you may find yourself slowing down, being more eloquent, and even taking some more pleasurable little outings. Now, Venus also rules your 9th house of beliefs and your 2nd house of money. So it could be that she puts you more in touch with people who share your spiritual or political values. Similar to the Leo Rising friends, it could also mean that you have to make short trips for your job. Perhaps seeing clients around town, or maybe you have to lend a sibling or family member some money. What about our Libra Rising friends, though? Well, for Libra Rising, Mars just left your 2nd house of finances. He may have been messing with your bank balance, similar to your Aries Rising homies. Either you had some surprise expenses, or you just felt like you needed some Libran retail therapy. Yeah. Sorry, but that new dress won't ease your anxiety, darling. Didn't work for me. So, well, anyway, Venus pulling through should help your finances a little bit, similar to our Aries friends, but it may not be a cash reward. It could just be that you stop bleeding money, right? And Mars rules the blood and bleeding. Venus rules your 8th house of death and debt and your 1st house of self. So you may have had to put things on credit. And now it's time to start making payments or perhaps budgeting a little bit better to handle these competing priorities. You see, because the 8th house settles all accounts, doesn't it? You may also find value in yourself, as in selling yourself or being persuasive, and using your confidence and skill to improve your business or get some positive recognition at work. But what about our Scorpio Rising friends? Let's talk about Scorpio Rising. This means Mars left your 1st house, right? And that could have been exhilarating or exhausting. You probably got a surge or rush of energy and felt like you could take on the world. We often rush around, and during this transit, we can sometimes hurt ourselves by moving too fast. Venus coming through your 1st house, though, brings confidence and gives us a desire to be seen and to sparkle. You will feel the need to beautify yourself a bit, get some new clothes, or enhance your appearance to match how you feel about yourself inside. Now, Venus rules your 7th house of partnerships and your 12th house of mental health. So perhaps you meet a new partner, or a current one helps you with a new outlook. This could also be a time when you have to address some mental health challenges that Mars stirred up maybe a month or so ago. What about our Sagittarius Rising friends? So for Sagittarius Rising, Mars just left your 12th house, right, of isolation and mental illness. So he probably played some mind games with you, right? Opening up old wounds, destructive patterns, or just made you want to be alone. Venus coming through here now is about addressing those patterns, perhaps finding solace in therapy, or even puzzling out these issues on your own with a bit of healing seclusion. You see, Venus rules your 6th house of illness and obligations, and your 11th house of hopes and friends. It could be that you have to address an injury or illness, or perhaps you need to take this time to do things you've been avoiding. It's also likely that you get support from friends during this time. However, if people try to help you, you may stubbornly resist it, wanting to do things on your own. Well, what about Capricorn Rising? Our Capricorn Rising friends. This means Mars just left your 11th house of hopes and friends. So he likely dashed your hopes and pissed off your friends, like is happening to me right now. You could have been overly opinionated and made sure everyone knew it. Mars is transiting my 11th house, so, I've already been seeing a little exodus of followers. You may have felt depressed or angry about not achieving more of your goals. Venus coming through here, though, should help ease some of that stuff, right? She'll likely help you reconnect with your homies, or even apologize if you hurt anyone close to you. She'll also give you a glimpse of hope about your situation. You could likely see a new road ahead. Yeah? Now, Venus also rules your 5th house of children and your 10th house of life direction. It's likely that you do some fun things with your kids, or you feel inclined to do fun things or fun people on your own. So, you could possibly also make new friends at work, or socialize more with your work homies. You could also see new possibilities in your career open up for you. What about Aqua Rising? This is me, Aquarius Rising. So for us, Mars just left our 10th house of career and life direction. So Mars may have gotten you in fights with bosses, or maybe tarnished your reputation in some way. I know that happened to me. We usually act a fool in public, like being that girl at the party, right, who gets a little too wild, and suddenly everyone remembers her for exposing herself rather than her wonderful horoscopes. Anyway, Venus hopefully will help you get a little bit cleaner, right? To clean up that reputation a little bit and perhaps make up with authority figures. But you still got to watch pissing off your friends, right? Because Mars is there. Venus rules your 4th and 9th houses, though, the 4th house of home and family, and the 9th house of beliefs, right? So it could be that hidden things from your past get exposed. You could have to work out some old hurts with a parent. You will not be interested in keeping things hidden for the sake of harmony, right? You may also get some dubious recognition due to a parent or things from your past, right? Now, your spiritual or political beliefs will also be out on Front Street, and they could affect what people think about you, right? But the 9th house is also the law, so maybe it has something to do with the gorgeous Venusian lawyer. I don't know. What about our Pisces rising friends? Well, for Pisces rising, Mars left your 9th house of beliefs, law, and education. So you probably didn't have a very good Thanksgiving, did you? I mean, if you're in the US, right? It was likely that you got involved in heated debates, right? Because we often get very fanatic about what we believe while Mars transits our 9th house. You were probably all like, I don't lose arguments, I lose friends. Not a great attitude. Venus coming through now, though, could introduce you to new ways of thinking, new worldviews, and to be more tolerant of other people's points of view. Venus rules your 3rd house of community and siblings, and your 8th house of death and debt, right? So that means, you could be attending a spiritual or political gathering. I mean, there's all different types, right? Maybe a new group of like-minded people, or a demonstration or something. You may learn about a new worldview with a sibling or family member, or have to complete a speaking or writing project if you're in school, because the 9th house is also school and education. Part of your seeking, right, or your investigation for meaning, right, could stir up old traumas and perhaps even help you put them in perspective. It could be a healing thing for you, right? Well, that's all we've got for now. I hope this was useful and that you enjoyed your horoscopes. Thank you for watching until the end. Please like, subscribe, comment, and click the bell, right? Watch my other videos because I have tons of educational content and I'm kind of cute and fun. So, and I do the best readings. It's science. All my contact information is below, or visit my website, frankielynch.com. So, but most importantly, I love you. You're beautiful. And have a wonderful, whatever it is you're having.